In this video, I'm going to talk about unexplored, unsaturated markets for Shopify dropshipping that are not the US, Canada, UK, and all these oversaturated, over-advertised markets. We're going to look at what are the best hidden gems, the best countries to run ads to create stores in those markets, dominate, get results just like some of my students are doing in some very small countries. They're getting amazing results and not competing with everybody else. Let's check them out. And really quick, if you want my help, you want me and my team to mentor you and help you get results with your Shopify business, grow it to whatever level you desire, make sure to click that first link in the description. Let's talk, get a free call. Let's see if we can help you and our mentorship fits your needs. Now, there are a lot of things that we need to consider before we go and start selling in an unsaturated market. The first one is, do people actually pay with credit cards and debit cards online? I know this might seem like, of course they do. If you are from a developed country, if you're from the US, from Canada, from Australia, of course people pay with credit cards and debit cards, but in a lot of countries, it's all cash-based. For example, where I am right now in Slovenia, even though a lot of people like to pay with card, it's mostly cash-based. You go to the store, better to pay in cash. You go there, better to pay in cash. So you don't actually buy too many things online with a card. So that's the first thing that we need to find out. Here in Statista.com, I made an account. We can check the share of individuals with credit cards in selected countries worldwide as of 2017. Obviously, this is not super new right now for 2021, but it's the newest thing that I could possibly find. So you can see the percentage of people and the percentage of people that are using credit cards on a day-to-day basis. So we got Canada at the top, that we got Israel, we got Norway, Luxembourg, Japan, United States. So for example, Norway could be a great country to target for your Shopify store because 70% or 70.5% of people are using credit cards and debit cards in their daily life and also to buy things online. So it's a great market to go after. If you're looking for a market in Europe, for example, this is a great one. We got obviously the United States, Switzerland, Hong Kong, South Korea, Finland, and we can go down to the bottom until you have some countries that obviously are 0%, like Turkmenistan, Morocco, Madagascar. And a lot of people, for example, I've had some people from Africa ask me, why don't you advertise in Africa? Why don't you sell to Africa or some countries that are underdeveloped? Well, because not that many people can actually buy online. They prefer cash on delivery, and cash on delivery is a lot harder to set up. It's a lot more complicated. You need more connections, more intermediaries. So it's just a hassle overall. So we're gonna stick to the top ones. We got Spain here, Australia, obviously Singapore, Belgium, Malta. So you could do, for example, Singapore. I have one of my students who he was targeting many different countries trying to test his products out, and Singapore actually was the most profitable country. So he decided to go 100% into Singapore and started getting great results there, and is now scaling his product in the country of Singapore alone. You got UAE, Austria, Sweden, and so on. So that's the first thing that we need to find out about the country that we want to target is how many people use cards, what is the percentage, and the higher the percentage, the better it is. Now, the second thing, apart from the credit cards that we need to find out, or if actually people are buying online, is what is their English level. When you're going into a secondary market or an unsaturated market, it's obviously better to do it in their language. If you're selling to Spain, you're selling to Italy, always better to sell in Spanish and in Italian. I have one of my students who sells to Italy. He's Italian, his store is in Italian, everything is set up in Italian, in euros, and everything set up so that Italians can fully understand it. That's obviously the ideal scenario, but sometimes you speak only English or you speak just one or two languages and you want to advertise to a lot of different countries. I know one of my friends, he sells in Poland really well, and Poland does very well. He doesn't speak a word of Polish, he sells in English. So what you want to do is you want to check the world's ranking of countries and regions by English skills. So we can go down to the bottom here. We can see this year's number one is the Netherlands, and that matches up with a country in the credit card usage. If we go up here, Netherlands was actually in the 39%, not super high, but it's pretty high that we can compare it to the English speaking and number one English speaker, and you have all these other English speaking countries. You got very high, high, moderate, low, and very low, and you can see all the countries ranked by those different categories of English speaking. And you can find all the links to all this in the description. They are well put there. Obviously, to get results in this unsaturated markets, you need winning products, and I'm actually giving away a list of top 10 winning products that I made for my mentorship students, my private students. I'm giving it away to one lucky winner. All you have to do is comment below winning product or winning products. I'll be giving it away. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, that like button, and I'll pick a winner for the next video. So very high would be Netherlands, Denmark, Finland, Sweden, obviously countries in Europe, Luxembourg and Singapore and South Africa, and all the other ones are pretty much in Europe. All the other ones. So you could do, for example, Norway. I've been to Norway, they all speak English. I've been to Sweden, they all speak English. Finland the same, Denmark the same, Netherlands the same. Everybody speaks almost perfect or pretty much perfect English, as well as they use credit cards. So for example, these could be markets that are very, very good for you to tap into and go at it because they are unsaturated. People don't typically advertise to them, but they speak really good English and they use a lot of credit cards. You could also go into the high ones like Poland here, Switzerland, although everybody that I've met from Switzerland speaks relatively good English. You got Estonia, Argentina, France, Latvia. You could use one of those countries that are in the high category. Moderate, I would be careful. For example, like Italy. Yes, this is true. A lot of Italians do not speak English. I've been to Italy, to many different cities, and a lot of the times it was hard. I had to use Spanish and they would understand Spanish better. So if you are going to Italy or Spain or Chile or Paraguay or Russia, you want to do it in their language in those cases. If it's in the moderate to low, and obviously the very low like Cameroon, Algeria, those particular countries, if you want to go for them, I would advise you not to, because if you want to go to one of those countries and advertise there, again, they don't use credit cards that much. So that's why these two need to match up. They need to have English and they need to have that credit card usage. So we've made a list here, a particular little sheet, if you will. You can find the link down in the description. My support specialist Marco made this list, and you can see by e-packet ranking. Also, one of the things that you want to find out apart from credit cards and language is obviously, can you ship there and how easy it is to ship there. And even though e-packet, not the best shipping method to use right now, but at least it's an indicator that we can ship to that country. If a country doesn't have e-packet, doesn't have CNE, doesn't have anything, it'll probably be very hard to actually ship your products there. So e-packet gives us a pretty good understanding of, okay, that country probably okay to ship there, and also the conversion rate that you can usually get when you're advertising to this particular country. So you have Australia, obviously English, main language, very high conversion rate. Belgium, very high. Brazil, conversion rate, even though Brazil is not so heavily targeted, it also has a low English score. So you can see all of the countries here ranked by the country itself. The conversion rate of e-commerce, we've looked at all different conversion rates all over the world for every single one of these countries, or actually Marco did it. He spent a lot of hours looking through all these conversion rates, all these countries, and putting them into this list. And then the English score. So you got Canada, 3.32, very high. Denmark, 4.67, very high. So for example, Denmark could be a great one. Norway could be a great one. Sweden, also really good. They all speak English. And then here you have the European countries. You got Norway again, Sweden, UK, obviously Finland, Ireland also. They obviously speak English. e-packet America, Brazil, Canada, and then e-packet other two countries like Australia and New Zealand. Apart from these top ones, I don't really recommend you to go into them unless you are, for example, doing cash on delivery or doing it in their language. For example, some countries in the Arabian Peninsula, like United Arab Emirates, like Oman, like Qatar, they all like to do cash on delivery, and they love cash on delivery, and those people really have money to spend on cash. So if you are willing to, for example, make a store in Arabic or even in English and do cash on delivery, that can be an extremely profitable market that you could go after. Obviously, this is based on different countries that have e-packet with their conversion rates, with their English scores. You can also go to, for example, Fulfill Panda, which I talked about in my last video, or Source Inbox, and ask them how much it would take to ship to that country, the cost, the time, if it's even possible, if it's going to be easy to ship to that country, or do they have a lot of orders. For example, I know for Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and Denmark, they are pretty easy to ship to. Austria also pretty easy to ship to. Germany, also an English-speaking one that's easy to ship to. So definitely you want to check with your supplier or with whatever supplier you are using to make sure that they are able to ship there how many orders they're able to ship, what's the cost, and all of that. And you do have to take into account the VAT as well, the taxes on these European countries. If you want a video on the new tax laws for these countries, specifically in Europe, I can make a video about it if there's enough interest. Just let me know down in the comments. Now that you know, do they speak English? Is it easy to ship there? Do they use credit cards? How do we find stores that are doing well in that country, that are running in that country? And this particular tool that I'm going to show you now will show you exactly that. This tool is called shopgram.io. It basically lists out the top Shopify stores around the world, and you can do a search for any Shopify store that you want, as well as any Shopify store per country. So let's say that I want to look for a home and garden store global, all around the world. We got 29,272 stores that you can look through. You got how many products they have, what country they advertise to, Alexa rank, which is how they match up against other websites around the world. You have all of those metrics here that you can check. And if you check what country they're in, so let's say we don't do home and garden, we just leave it open, and then we go to location. And let's say, like I talked about before, you want to do Norway. Let's go and do Norway. And now we can find Norwegian stores. We have 28 Norwegian stores here. Country, Norway, how many products they have. And for example, this one, Rungne, definitely a Norwegian one, based in Oslo, Norway. You can see what kind of stores, what kind of niches, what kind of design stores have that are doing well in these particular markets. So it's definitely a great tool that once you find an unsaturated market, who are the top people in that market? You find them with shopgram.io. You can check them out. They have different clothing. Word Rungne comes from Norse mythology. Very cool. And then we can see how much money they're making. For example, with Salesforce or Niche Scrape or any of these tools, you can check how much money the store is doing. And this one in particular, 13K to 23K per month. Pretty solid store, doing okay. So not a huge multi-million-dollar store, but it's still doing pretty solid. And they are targeting Norway. So that's the awesome thing here, that they're specifically targeting the country of Norway with Norse mythology. So definitely it's people from Norway buying these products with a company from Norway. So if you are from a country like this, you can definitely build it and target your own people, or even not from Norway, you can just create it in English, create a nice store that is about that country, and then target to it. You can have 5-10 stores doing 10K a month each and go through this as an unsaturated market, kind of recycling these markets to see which one is most profitable. Now, let's say that you want to create a store in another language, but you don't know that particular language, or you don't have anybody in your family or in your friendship or whatever that speaks that particular language, or anybody that you can hire. Let's say that you want to sell products in Slovakia, and you want to translate your store to Slovak, or you want to translate your store to whatever. You can use this app called Weglot. Translate your store Weglot. 4.7, 1,000 plus reviews. I've used it before. Pretty great app to use. And what you can basically do is translate your whole store depending on what country the person is visiting from. So let's say that your store is in English and somebody from Germany visits the store. They have the option to translate it to German. So that's pretty awesome when it comes to also advertising to multiple places. So let's say you're advertising to Germany, Italy, Spain, and France. You got 4 main big languages. You want to advertise to all of them with the same store. Some of these countries, like maybe France and Spain, they don't speak as much English as the other ones would. So you want to translate it to that language, and you can definitely do it using Weglot. So it's definitely a great app if you want to go after one of these markets and you want to translate the whole store. You want to make sure that it's in their language, perfect for those people to buy from it. Obviously, your conversion rate is going to be higher. Obviously, you're going to get many more sales because your store is translated to that language. Thank you for watching this video on how to advertise and crush it in unsaturated markets. If you want my help, you want me to mentor you and my team to help you do this, go ahead and book a free strategy call. You can go to that first link in the description, book the best time for you. We can get you great results for your store. We can help you scale if you're already being profitable. We can help you start if you're just starting out. Just book a free call. Let's see if we can help you. Let's talk together. I'm very passionate about this. Let's get you results. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, that like button down below, and check the other videos that are gonna pop up somewhere here. You can learn a lot from my videos about Shopify, dropshipping, e-commerce, and we can crush it together. I will see you on the next video.